In this section, we'll look at several buildings that have provided public gathering places for students. One of these is actually on the National Register of Historic Places. By 1910, Ohio State's student body exceeded 5,000, and many were clamoring for a place to congregate and to house their student organizations. The campus's first student union opened a year later, in 1911, on 12th Avenue. Officially named by the Board of Trustees before construction began, the Ohio Union was the first student union built at a public university. It was also only the fourth in the nation, and it offered many amenities such as a billiards room. The Ohio Union also provided a place where students could grab a bite to eat between classes, which was particularly important for commuting students. Women were not allowed in the building except on Wednesdays from 2 to 6 p.m., and only if they were accompanied by a male student chaperone. Like other buildings, the Ohio Union served a dual purpose during World War I. The number of men being trained for military service grew so large on campus that a separate mess hall was built into the back of the Union. After World War II, the campus student population exploded because of the many returning soldiers taking advantage of the GI Bill to get an affordable college education. In 1947, students presented a petition for a new Ohio Union to be built. They agreed to pay $5 per quarter to go to construction costs. The new Ohio Union cost roughly $5 million to build, and it opened in 1951. The second Ohio Union contained many options for relaxing, such as a bowling alley in the building's basement. It also included a music browsing room where students could sit in individual booths and listen to their favorite records. Students working on class assignments also could use the then state-of-the-art computer lab at the Union. By the 1980s, the building needed about $10 million in repairs, and yet a decade later, students in a referendum turned down a proposal to rebuild. In the early 2000s, Ohio Union staff members took a roadshow exhibit to residence halls, student organization offices, and anywhere students gathered to garner support for a new building. In 2007, the old Union closed and was razed. Some of the building material was reused by Habitat for Humanity. At a cost of roughly $70 million, the third Ohio Union opened in 2010. It includes many areas for students to eat and study, and certain sections are reserved for officers for student organizations. It also hosts major events, such as Buckeye-thon, an annual dance marathon organized by students that has raised millions of dollars for Nationwide Children's Hospital, and it also hosts an annual Thanksgiving dinner that feeds roughly 1,500 students and others in the Ohio State community who can't travel home for the holiday. As for Ohio State's first student union, it's on the National Register of Historic Places and is now named after Frank Hale, former Vice Provost of the Office of Minority Affairs, which is now called the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. That office is located in Hale Hall.